Om Ganana Tva Ganapatikim Havamahe Kavim Kavirnam Upavasavastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashanvano Deveseda Sadhanam Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Before we start, we pray to the Lord Ganesha, and anything for start, we pray to him because he is the one who will try to bombard all the obstacles which may come in the way of our projects. That's why we pray to him. This is a Vedic prayer, Ganapati, which is always, the olden days, all the Vedic scholars, they will start with this. Now, we have been asked to talk something about the Vedas. Number one is we should know what is told in the Vedas. The scriptures say itself as to what it contains. Yam vastum labdhum gitaraha pramanaha na santi tasya vedyamanatvad vedi ityuchyate. You see, there is a particular being or entity which is the greatest, which should be our highest goal. But there is no other authority which can speak authoritatively on the subject except the Vedas. So that is why know that, by knowing which everything will be known. Yena gyatena sarvamidam gyatam bhavati. So that is the purpose of the Vedas. If already there are books on it, there is no need. But about the ultimate entity whom we may call as the self or the Atman, or at the higher levels we may call it as the Brahman. Brahman means that which is all comprehensive, which covers all. So only the Vedas can give that, where there are no other pramanas, where there are no other authorities available, authentic authorities available, the one which can say with certainty, this is the ultimate entity, this is how you can get it. This you can get only from the Vedas. Now, the Vedas are of four kinds. One is called the Yajur Veda. Rig Veda is the oldest. The Rig Veda is almost in prose, while Yajur Veda is in poetry. And Sam Veda is not an independent Veda by itself, which many do not know, even the people who chant. This Sam Veda, out of about 1075 hymns it contains, nearly 1,000 of them have been taken from the Rig Veda, and then they have been set to music. And the last one is called Atharva Veda. But for certain reasons, this Atharva Veda is not practiced much. That is why the three Vedas only we speak of, it is called the Trayi. Trayi means the triad. That is Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Rig Veda. And where which Veda is to be used, there is told Yajusha Yajeta Richas Tuyate Samna Gayati. That is, when you are doing a yaga or yajna or a fire sacrifice, when you are pouring the oblations of the ghee and other things into the fire along with the mantras, those mantras have to be only from Yajur Veda. And the one who does it, he is called the Hota. And similarly, after that, the other man who just prays to the gods, "Oh Lord, be grateful, be beneficial towards us," and all that. Sanno Mitra Samvaruna, "Oh Mitra, the god of the day, oh Varuna, the god of the night, please pour all the blessings on us." So like that we pray. And that portion is required after that portion of the Havan is over, or during that in between, we have to pray to the gods. The karma alone cannot give you the result. Doing the action alone, it has to be along with the mantras, along with certain mantras. And for the mantras to be effective, first we have to those particular gods we have to pray. Then only they will make it effective. It is called make those gods awake. They are all sleeping inside the mantras. That is why even at temple, when a statue is put, immediately it doesn't become a god at all. It is just a stone. But what they do is, the Kumbhabhishekam was done here in 1996 and all that, of that Adiyan Namale. Then you might have seen, because that's Swami, that big Swamiji, Ramanananda, he was doing all the things. A number of Yagavedis for doing the yaga, they are put up. I think 21 number or some such thing. Each should have 4 priests. 4 rithviks, they are called, the priests. And there are 4 big pitchers made up of metal, metallic pitchers like this. So they will be full of water, and then 1 in each direction, 4 are kept in each. So 4 into 21, it will contain, say, 84 total. So on the 21st day or so, till that time, they will be telling some mantras. What are those mantras? You see, a god is like a battery cell. It can only be effective for 12 years. Then it has to be recharged. That recharge is called the Kumbhabhisheka. Otherwise, it becomes a stone. In fact, in many places in the north, they do not even know it. It comes in Agam Shastra. Nigama, Agama, they are all the various sciences for it. It is told there. For that purpose it is done. So originally itself in the installation, the same process is observed. When the first time when you do it, apart from various other rituals, these are the main things. What happens is, the entire cosmic energy that is very vast. If you want to utilize some Ganges here, you go to Benares. You can't bring the entire thing in your hands. You require a limited vessel to bring the unlimited for your use. So that is called the yantras, and that is along with the mantras, along with the chantings. That is how it should be done. See, I'm sorry, I'm trying to condense it because there is a lot of background which you should know about it before understanding the effect of the Vedas. I can simply tell, oh, Vedas are great treasure, Vedas are all the things, everyone praise the Vedas, Ramana praise the Vedas, anybody can tell. So when I come to you, I want to tell the in-depth portions of it, which normally many of them or none of them know properly. All the people who chant, they don't know Sanskrit. They don't know the meaning of all the things. That is very unfortunate. That is there. Because when once you can understand, you will know, it goes hand in hand with the quantum physics. Everything goes hand in hand from the Achavana onwards. The superconductor is the liberated soul. There the heat energy is brought to 0 degrees absolute, and here the thought energy is brought to absolute, 0 degrees absolute. The chittavritti is stopped. Yoga, chittavritti nirodha. So that's what happens. Now, coming back to the main thing, so all the 4 are used for various purposes. At the end, once you are doing it successfully and all that, in your glee, in your ecstasy of having completed and got the blessings of the Lords, you just sing. It is just like any other Carnatic music, but the Carnatic musics have got 7 steps in that. Sapta Swaras we say. Sari Gama Pada Ni Sa. So these are the 6. But for the purpose of Samveda, a man should undergo training in music for 2 years, and only the 5 swaras only he has to master. The other 2 swaras are not used in the Samveda. And another important point is, Samveda contains also mantras of white magic, while Atharvaveda contains all black magic mantras. how to kill somebody not known to you or somebody who is inimical to you. And also various other good things are also there. There is one Ekagri Kanda where it is told, you have a servant, very good servant. He gives you a notice after 30 years of staying with you. No, I don't like it, I am going home to Orissa. Now you want to retain him. You tell this mantra 108 times at the night. Early morning he will come and withdraw his resignation letter. There is a mantra for it. And there is another mantra next to it where a fellow took leave for going for a marriage and went out. He is not there with you now. And from there he sends a resignation letter. See, personally if he is there, it will be possible perhaps to persuade him. Now that fellow is elsewhere. So in that case, there is another mantra which you say, then another letter will come, I am shortly coming to you, I have now decided to be back with you. All these things were there. And there were Veda mantras where you write it in 4 chits and put it in your field of paddy, where paddy or rice is cultivated or wheat is cultivated. You put it on the 4 sides, dig the earth and put it down. And no insects will ever come. It can never be affected by any sort of bacteria or viruses, and nothing will happen. There is no need for putting insecticides or anything at all. But now, there were almost in every village there was one. When I was small and 6 years, I knew there is a village of ours where I used to go. There was one for that purpose, but now it is lost to the world. There is nobody who knows all these things. Nobody even knows which are the mantras. So there is the problem. That is there. And I happen to know because I separately got the book called Ekagri Kanda. It comes in Ekagri Kanda of one of the Vedas, of the Rig Veda. Then thus, so now coming to another side, the Vedas, each Veda consists of 4 items. First is called Samhita. Samhita means collection. These are mantras which have been by inspiration by the Lord Himself, has come into the minds of some Maharshis. Those Maharshis did not take it as for granted. They did those mantras for a period of 1,000 years or 2,000 years, as can it be. Then they were able to materialize the infinite energy in that form in which they worshipped it, and it could come and talk to them, it can give them boons. All these were possible there. There is a hint of it in Srimad Bhagavata that at one stage of her sadhana, you can see them going, and all of them are capable of doing these things. Vacham divyam vadanti. There's a shloka, because my old age I have forgotten some of them. She says, they come in there, each one goes in their vehicles, you can see them, and they come and speak with you, and they like to talk with you, perhaps some divine gossip. So they like it. It is written there. Now, the Samhita is there, where the mantras are there. But in the Samhita it is not given which mantra is to be told for the funeral, which mantra should be told for the marriage, and we have got so many samskaras, some 48 or 41, or I don't remember, according to Dharma Shastra. Samskaras means conditioning through special invoking the gods and all that. At the time of the marriage, there is a samskar. Then while putting for the Brahmins, they wear that crossbar, which is called the sacred thread. At that time, again, so like that, for each samskara that is there. So, and after all these samskaras, necessary a man should do, and then only he is entitled for Vedas. Otherwise, simply doing Vedas for one day will not do. It has to be done in a regular way. Dhrityaja niyamenicha. Niyama means you should not leave it for a single day. It has to be there. And if it is there, say for Rudram it is told, in that entire village, nobody will suffer from any disease. This much is there. And they used to say about the possession of devils. Among the Catholics also, it is 100% they believe it. And there is even a picture about it, where some young lady was affected and Catholic priest wanted to see, but it was more powerful. Finally, the priest dies. There's something, exorcist. It's called the exorcist. There's a picture about it. So, I have known my father once, a fellow on whom the ghost was there. My father had just gone to another house, barely half an hour back, without any pre-intention. Nobody knew he's coming. Within 5 minutes of his arrival, some fellow comes in that house that a ghost has manifested itself in that lady. It is for some time she is suffering from it. It says, you call this gentleman who has now come, Mr. Vaidyanath, the name of my father, let him come, then I will explain to him how I will be able to leave this body. Then he goes, then it says, ask them to do Ekadasha Rudra. Every Monday morning we do, that 11 kalash we keep, and then with that water we do the Ramana Puja every Monday we do it here. So that Ekadasha Rudra has to be done, and with that water you bathe her. How do you know that you have left the body? Then the ghost says, well, there is a very big tamarind tree in the backyard, a lone tree. I will uproot it and go. It won't fall in any buildings, it will fall on the other side. But this will be the signal that I am leaving a body. And this is exactly what happened. My father used to say. So its power is immense. It can be used either for the final purpose, the only goal of attaining the Supreme Lord, or we can use it also for all getting our dream riches or the dream enjoyments in this birth, which you consider as truer than anything else, and which you call the worldly enjoyments. That is there. And that Samhita is there containing, and it is nowhere given which should be used in which circumstance. So the Brahmanas were written by subsequent rishis. As far as the first Vedas are concerned, no author's name is there. The names are there. The names are people who collected all the mantras from the various people. It was only by rote. That's why it is called Shruti. Vedas are not called Vedas. You will not find the term used. Everywhere they will say Shruti Pramana. And there is a time where in houses there will be long discussions and there will be chanting of the Vedas. When Shankara went to argue about his Advaita for people who are karmakandis, who thought that action alone will get the moksha, there is no need for a god. It is called the Puri Mimamsa of Jaimini. It is there. Then I've just forgotten.
Shankaracharya.
Shankaracharya
Went to that person's...
He went to that person because the chief of those karmakandis, that yaga and yajna alone sufficient, ignore God. So he wanted to argue with him so that if he comes down, then the entire, all other rishis and all through the world, this karmakanda will be given less importance. And Bhagavan Ramana has started with that in the Upadesara, that the karmakanda by itself is of no use. The karma cannot give the result. Because according to the Puri Mimamsa, I do so many yagas and yajnas. For one, I am entailed for the balcony seat in Bhaurloka. For something else, I am entailed for floor in Devaloka. Like that, there are so many lokas, 14. So I am entitled. Now, and various dates I have done. So, which should be done first? Which is the place where I have to go? Who will conduct me there? Who will remember all these things after I die? So they say, the karma itself creates one imaginary ledger which sticks to your heart. That is called Apurva. Apurva is a power which contains all these things. It's an invisible computer which carries all the data. And not only it's a walking robo-computer, so that when after the death, it takes you to one loka and says, here, the balcony seat, 20th day you have to move from here. This is the effect of your Vajapaya Yaga, which you did on your 20th year. So, these sort of things are there. So, he wanted to condemn them. If you are giving a power, an imaginary power which comes, then why don't you leave it? And why don't you acknowledge the supreme power? What is the need for saying that each karma creates its own? So Bhagavan has completely throttled it, because this is the same in which some of our Puranas have started, that it cannot be karma kim thing, you see, like that he says. It cannot give in itself by itself. So he starts with that only, the same thing. Now, because I am trying to make it as short as possible, at the same time I want to tell you, in a telescopic way, what all lies ahead in these Vedas. So I am trying to give you a small microscopic or telescopic information about them. Now,